Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of an astrologer's calling, where we chat with your favorite astrologers about how they were called to astrology and how they ended up doing what they're doing, and hence why we're having these lovely conversations with them. So today I am delighted to introduce Luiza Azancot, a fabulous astrologer who I've had the great pleasure of working with. Luiza is from Lisbon in Portugal, and astrology has been her full-time career job for around 25 years, I think,
Yeah.
Luiza. Yeah. So her path hasn't always been linear. She has an MBA in international business, and she's lived in several countries. And when she was living in the US, she completed level 4 of the NCGRP AA certificate. Then, after returning to Portugal, she became an advisor to ASPAS, which is the Portuguese Astrological Association. And she published a book in 2015, I believe, but then published another book last year, which is a biopic of Luiza's life called Memories of an Astrologer. And it's absolutely fantastic to read. Luiza is a true storyteller, and when you read it, you will laugh, cry, and everything in between. So let's chat to Louisa.
Wow.
So thank you so much.
I'm overwhelmed.
Thank you, Louisa, for giving up your time today. Tell us how astrology found you.
Well, it's a funny story. I never felt as a young person that I fitted. I was very uncomfortable where I was living in the family that I was born in. I was very uncomfortable, and I was looking for ways around. And the first thing that I found that made any sense was more the esoteric. And that esoteric search led me to read books about the mysteries of the cathedrals. I mean, any time of esoteric things I could get my hand on uh, at the time in Portugal. And then one day I went to see a friend in Paris, and I bought, um, because of the esoteric, Jung's Psychology and Alchemy in French. And as I started reading, I'm sure I didn't understand not even half of it because I was 21. Um, the idea of astrology seemed to come to me, and I saw what the potential of the symbols, and I was in. And that was it. I was in. Fast forward a couple of years, I had my chart done, and and then I had a very difficult son. I didn't know how to manage him. I saw the potential. Everybody was saying, oh, I have to take him to a psychologist. I didn't feel like it. I said, okay, you have to express who you are and the right way. So I had that sense that every expression, which is now later confirmed, is a spectrum. And you can
Mm.
either express it too much, too little, or just the right thing. So if you have a Mars, you can either be not express it at all and become a doormat. If you express it too much, go around kicking the world, or just the right amount, be autonomous, keep your ground, defend yourself from others, and that kind of. So I had that sense, but very, very much, just just the sense. So I had his chart done and found it is unusual setup, and I understood him, understood what he had to express. And I actually tell this in the book. So if you'd like to buy it, you'll know what I'm talking about. Memories of an
You do?
Astrologer, available on Amazon. And then I put him in martial arts, which made total sense. He became less aggressive for the world, dominated his aggression because that was the problem, and then I was completely sold. This is what I want to do. Um, I was what, 26, 27 at the time, and then something called life got in between.
Yeah.
You know about that, don't you,
Oh,
Lee?
yeah, just a bit.
I bet everyone knows about that. We have these plans, but things don't go that way.
Mhm.
So, divorce, remarriage, blah, 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 having to make money, having to, support kids, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And then finally, at 50, I found myself and said, okay, stop working, stop doing this, and complete shift.
Mhm.
Dedicate a couple of years to study deeply and as a full-time occupation. And that's what I did. I was living in Washington, D.C. I had the Jungian Institute right next door. I could take the Jungian courses, the psychology courses. Not that I'm an analyst, but I was doing a lot of work that way. And then I started my career as an astrologer. That was it.
Yeah, yeah,
And it has
fascinating.
never disappointed me, by the way.
No, no. Any astrologer I ever talk to will say the same thing. And once you go down the route of astrology, there's never any going back. No one ever seems to turn away from it, you know? Not that I know of, anyway. But it's really fascinating what you said there, about how astrology, aided you as a parent. I've talked about this in a few of these episodes, about that extra layer of insight that, it can bring you as a parent, and just being able to, decide to channel your son's Mars in a productive way. What a difference that made to his life and your life, you know?
Absolutely. And, if I had not had that knowledge, I'd probably take him to um, a psychologist
Yeah. Yeah.
who would ask him to diminish, squash his Mars, and then
Mhm.
it would erupt somewhere else.
Yeah, or medicate him
Or
because that
medicate him.
often children get medicated. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. And so he did. He was always interested in sports that had a little bit of violence,
yeah,
but just a little bit.
yeah, yeah.
So
And martial arts, it's the perfect outlet for that. I
he
mean,
understood what he could do with his strength.
yeah,
And, and his favorite sport once we moved to the States was lacrosse because it has the beauty of air,
yeah,
Libra,
yeah,
but then it's extremely aggressive
yeah, yeah,
because you can actually hit with a stick.
yeah. A weapon. A weapon. Mars, give me a weapon.
But it's Libra because it's extremely beautiful
Yeah,
because the ball goes through the air.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So each time he does, and now he's 51, he does a choice that reflects him. I smile inside. He knows about his chart and he knows.
Yeah, yeah, that's a really beautiful story. And I'm sure so many parents will resonate with it.
But it's also being an astrologer parent. It's also problematic, and you know that because we see things in our child's chart and say, how is he or she going to
Yeah.
deal with that transit? And we
Yeah,
are in, yeah, right, right.
yeah,
Let me
yeah.
tell you, because I'm older, it never stops.
No, no, it won't ever stop. And of course, we're aware of our own synastry with our children as well. So we have to navigate that in our own minds, you know, how we manifest in their charts and in their lives. So uh,
And how much we say.
I
I
know.
wish I could say no, no, unless they broach the subject.
Yeah, yeah. So there's challenges as well as benefits, I imagine. But I think the insight it gives us outweighs, the
Well,
challenge.
and then when I became a grandmother, this went on.
Yeah, yeah,
I don't know if you're aware because this was done way before I met you. I have twin grandkids
yeah,
born with 1 minute apart because the first one was a problem thing, and the second, those were twins. And I decided to do a research on twins. So a couple of things had been written by Liz Green,
Mhm.
um, by Whitaker. So it was a couple of things, and things were making sense, but not total sense. So I embarked in I don't know, it was a few years, because then I got a sample of other and developed a theory.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, and how twins split the chart. One shows one side and the other shows the other side. And I have been done longitudinal studies
Hmm.
with some of the twins of my sample, and
Yeah,
how they are developed when they start integrating the other side.
yeah, yeah. That's fascinating.
So that's fun too.
Yeah, yeah. It's fascinating. And that's a study that will just go on and on. You can just keep adding and, as you go along.
Yeah. So it's tough. It's um as I said, it's a never ending, because the minute you master,
Mm,
understand better an issue, there is another one that shows up.
yeah. Layers and layers and
Layers and
layers and
layers and layers.
yeah.
I know, like you didn't start when you started astrology. You didn't start by looking at Juno.
No, no, absolutely not. I started by looking at the sun and the moon and Mercury and, yeah, yeah,
And then suddenly,
exactly. Yeah. So we're always discovering sort of nuances and new bodies to put into the chart. And I always say to my students, so today, this is how you see your natal chart. In 2 years' time, you'll see something different. In 5 years' time, you'll see something else that's different, or your perspective will, will deepen. So it's always evolving, isn't it? The journey that it takes us on.
that's exactly it. And yesterday I had a client, and I had never, because it didn't ever seemed appropriate. I had never integrated Ceres in her chart. And now she was thinking of moving to the country and having a piece of land, you know. So I thought it would be appropriate
Mhm.
to put Ceres in. And now it revealed something I had never seen.
Yeah.
She's a very spiritual person. And now Ceres is sextile to Jupiter, and it's the finger of God towards Neptune,
Wow.
which which
Yeah.
I had never seen.
Yeah.
Told her about, because I had never introduced Ceres in her chart.
Yeah. Yeah. I think the planets find us. I think they find us and they always find us at the right time when we're ready. It's like when planets are discovered, like the likes of Uranus or Neptune or Pluto, they're always discovered at the right time when society perhaps is ready to begin integrating those energies into their consciousness.
Well, and I think we have a closer example to us, which is Chiron,
Mm,
because it's in 77.
yeah. Yeah.
I was, yeah, and we know what that time was like, not by books, but by experiences of myself or of your mother. We
Mhm.
know that, and Chiron has been such a revealer of depth that we didn't have.
Mhm.
So, no. And now, um, I found Chiron. I've had my period of being enamored with Chiron.
Yeah, yeah. I think we go through phases with planets, don't we? Where
Yeah,
we're sort of a bit obsessed with them and sort of, but that's where we get our learning from because we focus on them
and
during
then we learn, and then we learn
exactly,
to move on.
exactly, exactly, because there's something new. But you'll always but then you've got the perspective and the experience just to integrate them whenever you need to or decide that the situation is appropriate, like you were saying, with your client and Ceres.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So, and then, but my current interest now is exploring Pallas Athena. You know, you did it with Juno, and I'm very interested in Pallas Athena's energy because, like you, it has a prominent position in my chart.
Yeah.
So it's yelling at me, "Why have you ignored me?"
Yeah.
To know.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. The planets lead us. They definitely lead us on our path.
Because this, and I think I found that with Jeffrey Cornelius' work, that astrology uh, is more than just, you know, delineating planets and aspects and this and that. There is some magic.
Mhm.
Not as you're saying, it's the planets that draw us. It's
Mhm.
whatever is happening that draw us.
Mhm.
It's the moment uh, of the consultation, the moment when we are in uh, in the presence of another person. It's more than, even if it's Zoom, it's more than just an exchange. That is like a bubble of magic that surrounds us all. So
Yeah.
there is something that we don't understand yet,
Mhm.
which I well, we just accept it. That's it.
Yeah.
It is
Yeah.
meant, and that brings me to where I started, the esoteric. I mean, this is not just a piece of paper with things written on them.
Mm.
There is magic here.
Yeah.
Who is bringing it and what's it doing? Yeah.
No, we don't understand. I don't know if we're meant to understand. I don't know if I want to understand because then that might take some magic away. But there is something operating far bigger than us.
I
Definitely.
use very basic metaphors. So every time I turn on the light switch, I have no idea what's going on, but there's a light.
I love it. I love it.
Very basic metaphors. I don't know. I know there's the wires and the
No, it's funny because every time I go on a plane, I love flying. And theoretically, I have a basic idea of how a plane stays in the air. But every time I sit in a plane, I'm like, how the hell does this sit in the air? I don't know. And I don't want to know, but it does. It's the same thing.
but it's a little bit, and that is like when people are trying to prove astrology. No, it's evident. You don't need to prove it.
No, no.
It's here.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah.
There is no point. I mean, we can do research on this, on that. Actually, I was listening to a colleague of ours from Venezuela who lives in Palma de Mallorca, Enzo. And I was listening to, and he does more of the systemic astrology, the constellations, et cetera, et cetera. And I caught one of his talks, and he was calling about the wound of not being valued, connected with skin problems.
Hmm.
And at one point, I swear I had a bunch of clients who were the middle child. Speaking of not being valued,
Oh, it's those synchronicities, isn't it? It's
with psoriasis and things, you know, things, skin problems,
yeah.
and they were all middle children.
Wow. Wow. It's the ripples that feed out between everything and everyone's connected. Yeah.
And I'm like, wow,
Yeah. I don't
let
know. I say this so often, you couldn't make it up, could you? You could not make that up.
no. And you know that another way the planets are talking with us, to us, or calling our attention is when you get clients that have the same aspect or having the same problem and they come all in a row. It's like somebody, the
Yeah.
god of astrology, is knocking on us. Wake up, you.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
we get another one, and another one, and another one.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
that's what makes our life super interesting, and I wouldn't change it.
No, no, it's never boring. And every time you open a new chart or look at a previous chart with new perspective, you just get that wow moment. And I don't think I'll ever lose that wow moment. That
Yeah.
just sense of awe and yeah. Mhm.
Yes, the chart that I showed you. It's the chart that I did. Um, it's an orrery chart,
Mm.
and that I did yesterday for a question about a decision that I was thinking of taking, and making or not making, etc., etc. And I've always been obsessed a little bit by the kite formation
Mhm.
because it's a kite, it's beautiful. We all have this feeling when we can relive the feeling of actually going to a place and being given a kite and actually seeing it fly.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So the kite formation is always an appealing formation for me.
Mhm.
And boom, the chart, which I very rarely make an orrery chart for myself, and boom, it has a kite formation.
I think it's telling you something.
There you go. There you go. So um, I thought uh, that was another way this chart was talking to me. And
Mhm.
this is just these are the lines. I'm not interpreting anything.
Yeah, yeah,
It was just visual.
yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Chart shaping and aspect patterns are just so fabulous. They can tell us so much without even having to go into the nitty-gritty of the signs and planets and the conditions. Just the shape and the image that the chart gives you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it it appeals to another side of your brain,
Hmm.
but it does appeal.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah. And it's just another layer of information
Yeah.
that the chart's giving us. Yeah.
And it is so easy to communicate. Look at this.
Yeah.
Even if I if I did make the orbs a little bit better, I could even have this chart with all sextiles all around. Yeah,
Star of David.
yeah, yeah, Star of David. I could
Yeah.
possibly with a little bit of you know, out of sign.
Oh, that's wonderful. Anyway, Louisa, tell me about what your working day is like.
Well, I'm not. I'm now a little bit retired in the sense that I don't want to push myself into numerous consultations, so I wouldn't have time to to think. So I try to schedule them, allowing. Uh, well, a few years ago, when I had enough clients and just the repeat clients were enough to fill my day, I I stopped having a website, period, because it was a pain feeding it, etc., 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 and I didn't need it. So since then, since I turned 70, I reduced my workload in terms of consultations, and now I'm reducing it further. So I try, if obviously it's a big part of my life, so I still do it, you know, maybe 4 times a week, 5 times a week. So I try to schedule so that I can do other things. I like to read something of astrology. I like to at least spend half an hour or so reading something, even a book that I haven't read, or listening to a podcast of a colleague, or doing something that is in the scope of Mercury, that's in the scope of learning.
Yeah.
And then I try also to schedule some time alone with the charts. Like you said at the beginning of the book, I found myself with a very quiet afternoon and I started researching. So I allow myself now a little bit of quiet time. I usually work better in the morning. So my mornings are more full, except for consultations, which people prefer in the afternoon, most of my clients, then especially the American clients, it has to be in the afternoon. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I work by myself better in the morning.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's how I do it.
Yeah.
And then if something happens in the research part or in the writing part, if I have something coming up, for example, I'm going to be with that colleague in a podcast in Spanish on Friday. So the focus of my attention these next few days is brushing up on the Spanish.
I'm sure your Spanish is fine.
Yeah, well, they think so. And I'm brushing up on the Spanish and making sure I know all the terms in Spanish. So I'm actually listening to Spanish or Mexican or Venezuelan colleagues. It's part of my research.
That's brilliant.
So I'm very mutable, and I have a lot of Mercury. So I have objectives because I have Saturn and a Capricorn ascendant. But I try that my day goes, and this has been the last few years. I let my intuition say which book I'm going to grab
Yeah.
and what chart I'm going to open.
Yeah. 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 And it's lovely to be able to have that choice in life, just to follow what feels right on a particular day.
Yeah, but that I think it's the privilege of
Yeah.
age and having done what I had to do, because I remember the years where I needed to do 3 consultations a day and I was totally exhausted
Yeah. Yeah.
and teaching.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I couldn't think of anything except
Yeah. Yeah.
nothing.
Oh,
So these days are gone, but they were necessary.
yeah. Yeah. But if you look at those days, the experience and the that you would have gained, from all that hard work.
Yeah. And I'm having a lot of fun with meeting astrologers that I didn't know and do different things. For example, our friend Anna
Yeah.
and the asteroids.
Anna's asteroids are so funny.
So when this whole thing started with Epstein, I looked up and there was an asteroid called Epstein. And I emailed her, "Are you having fun yet?" "Oh, no, I didn't realize there was one." And then 5 minutes later,
Magic.
she
Magic.
said, "Have you seen Epstein in Trump's chart?" No, but I believe you.
Brilliant. Brilliant.
I think we also have fun with these things.
Yeah. 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 I'm a huge, huge believer in that we've got to have fun as well.
Fun
So
as well.
yeah, when appropriate, we've got to, bring some humor in and see
Yeah,
the entertainment in it as well. Yeah.
yeah. But sometimes we are too serious
Yeah, absolutely.
because we want to be taken seriously.
Yeah.
And this has been because I'm such a Gemini, and then I have the ascendant in Capricorn. It has such a struggle, which is not a struggle anymore, to um, make the light responsible. I mean, I'm responsible,
Yeah.
but it has to be light.
Yeah, 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 absolutely. Absolutely. Um, I think it's quite a Gemini thing that as well,
Yeah,
just to bring in the lightness and the fun. It's very important because, life in general is, especially at the moment, is incredibly serious. And it's so easy to get sucked down into the drama that we see in the news every day. So I think we have to remember to play and to keep things light. And that's one of the reasons why in this series of interviews, I always ask whichever astrologer I'm talking to if they have a funny transit story or funny astrological story to share. Like the time I was having a Neptune transit and I wore my wetsuit inside out. Didn't even realize it, and everyone was laughing at me.
We have the problem with with symbols. Sometimes they are too explicit, too literal,
Any
and we are
examples?
thinking of how things are going to go in a symbolic kind of way, and then boom,
Yeah, yeah.
and then the wetsuit is perfect.
I know. I thought I was so cool with all the other surfers, and no, they were just laughing because
But the last one that was so literal. Now I have to remember it. I'll remember it in a minute. It absolutely literal. All the elements were there. It was, oh my God, why didn't I think of this? Because it was too literal. It was
yeah.
exactly what was happening. And I can pretty much I know where it is, so I can figure it out. Let's continue talking while because we can do multitasking. You know, I can
Of
do
course you can. Of course
you
you can.
could
Lots of Gemini.
totally can do multitasking.
Yeah.
Um,
It's that the literal ones are they're so simple and so literal. We overlook them a lot of the time, don't we?
yeah, I mean, this was where was it? I don't know. Oh, it was. I don't know uh, if you looked at um, the pride parades all over the place, and um, and then there was. It was around the 4th of July in America,
Mm.
and Trump did a parade with all the military, and they had robot dogs
Mm.
uh, capable of attacking or doing things. And meanwhile, at the same time, you had in Boston a pride parade with, but because it's full of MIT students,
Mhm.
it also had robot gay dogs wearing
Rainbows and pride things. Wow.
Mars was on that day exactly in Virgo. Mars in Virgo, you know, Mars mechanic, you know.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
there was other aspects that I don't remember, but I was laughing when I saw both images, the robot dog parade in both places. I thought it was absolutely, you know, one of those that only us astrologers understand.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And of course, Virgo is the sign of pets, dogs, small animals. So Mars there as well.
And speaking of Mars and my return chart, um, I was also stung by a wasp. And if you look at my return, that's again literal.
Mhm, mhm. Yeah, yeah.
So these days I was dealing with Mars, and uh, uh, but we even find funny the fact that I was stung by a wasp.
Because the universe has given you a meaning for it and a reason for it. Honestly, in everyday life, we see meaning in everything. You can go down to the supermarket and you can get stuck in a traffic jam and think, oh, this is a very Mercury Saturn day, and there'll be a Mercury Saturn transit going on, and you're stuck and delayed. So, yeah, everything is overlaid with that astrological color and insight, isn't it? Every
Yeah, and I
experience.
think that makes our life very interesting.
Yeah, yeah. Incredibly interesting. Yeah. But it also means our brains never switch off because we're always finding meaning.
At a certain point, we just switch off and enjoy. That depends on your Venus. My Venus is a very enjoyable Venus.
Yeah, my Venus has a very disapproving Capricorn moon
Uh,
too, so it gets told off for switching off and having too much fun before it's done enough hard work.
you're having too much fun. Fun is measurable. Yeah.
You finished your work. You should be working hard, not having fun. So,
Oh, that's a problem. Mine
I
is
know.
Taurus, so it allows me moments of pure enjoyment.
Yeah, indulging in the enjoyment.
Indulging,
Beautiful,
indulgent, indulgent.
beautiful.
And
Yeah.
then stop eating.
Anyway, Louisa, before we finish, do you have any words of wisdom for anyone regarding the current astrological weather or just astrology in general?
Well, the current astrological weather makes us very, very heavy, as you said. It's very difficult not to feel that things are about to change because, the change in Pluto, uh, Saturn and Neptune retrograde. They just changed. I mean, everything feels so heavy.
Mhm.
And my advice for this time, you cannot, you will feel heavy at times. You look at situations all over the world, and you can avoid feeling the heaviness that is mirrored with what's above and what's below. Uh, but you can focus on something that you can do, whether it's activating your Mars and being an activist in whatever cause, and then giving yourself time to breathe and said, I just did it. I need a moment. Otherwise, I won't be back.
Mhm.
Otherwise, I'll sink deeper and deeper. So
Mhm.
we know that this point in time is necessary for a transformation. Living through it is no fun, but we have to live it through it. And I believe there's better days ahead. In that
Mhm.
sense, um, my Saturn doesn't allow me to be, it's opposed Jupiter. So I'm not a total pessimist nor a total optimist. But right now, I think we have reasons to believe that if we go through this phase, there will be better days ahead.
Yeah.
And that's my advice for the current situation. For everybody who's listening, go study astrology, have fun with astrology, use it for yourself and others. That's the best thing you can do right now.
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. I echo those words, definitely. And do you have any exciting projects or events coming up that you'd like to share?
Well, I'm going to be in Palma de Mallorca in October. That's a conference organized by Enzo de Palma. It's in Spanish. Um, and it's called Congreso de Almas, Congress of Souls. So,
Oh, beautiful.
beautiful name. Um, and I'm going to expand a little bit of what I said in Porto. Things that have surprised me in astrology. Things
Yeah.
that were, how can this happen? This is not at our level of understanding. Those are the questions. Because I'm expanding on that because I have more time. And then I'm going to seriously start that research on Pallas Athena, a little bit inspired by your Juno book. And that's that's on the that's my objectives until Christmas.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are
Fabulous.
things I'm looking at. Oh, besides being with you in Mundane Astrology and Rod Cheng and our friend Rod Cheng and reading his comic book, which comes out
Yeah, absolutely.
next week,
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, I can't wait to read your thoughts on Pallas Athena.
Yeah, uh,
So,
I'm going to let my intuition guide me
yeah,
and see where I'm going. But I'm definitely following your lead because we need female archetypes because
yeah.
this world with patriarchy and
Mhm.
men and the one or the other, it's either one or the other. There is no compromise. There is no it's ultimatum after ultimatum.
Yeah.
It's driving us to the ground.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So the female archetypes are going to recalibrate everything and bring some light and bring some sense. Definitely.
We
Definitely.
hope so. We hope so.
Feminine power. Thank you so much, Louisa. People are going to love the insight that you've shared and love your stories as well. So hopefully we'll speak soon and take care. Okay.
Okay, thank you so much for having me, Lianne.
Thank you for
Meeting you
joining.
has been a highlight of this last couple of years.
Oh, thank you so much. Take care. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.